Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday to you. And depending on how you celebrate, Merry Christmas, I think Hanukkah will be over by the time you see this video. Happy holidays, all of those things. Just have a happy day. How about that? So I'm so glad that you are here. A couple things before I kind of discuss what I have done. I just want you to be reminded that the membership doors are going to be opening in a couple of weeks. So if you are interested at all in that, I'll leave the link down below and you can check it out and see if it interests you. And if it does, you can get on the wait list and I'll email everybody and let them know, hey, today's the day the doors are open. And then the new subscriber library is just a hit so far, and it makes me so happy. And there's just all kinds of free stuff in there. So, and I think that's it. Oh, one other thing too. By the time you see, one other thing. Wanderlust 2023. It's right now you have about 1 week left to sign up for it. It's discounted. It's not the full price. Right now they're doing a last minute kind of discount. So you could take advantage of that as well. So I'll leave the link down below this video, and all that information's also in your weekly email if you are a subscriber. Okay, that's it. Now, let's talk about what I have done. So here is my yummy goodness. This is a 12 by 12 MDF board, and I love this. So I put papers down first with my fluid matte medium, and I did the fluid matte medium because it dries fast and I have this idea and I want to work really fast. So that's usually when I use my fluid matte medium, and I wasn't worried about the wrinkling because I wanted that kind of texture anyway. So I had a bunch of scraps on my desk. I used those for the background. Then I dried that partially. I never fully dry anything, and that's a good thing sometimes because that's what happened today. So once I partially dried it, I came back with some black gesso and some white gesso, my Utrecht and Nova Color gessos. And I just did a quick mess of paint all over the place and kind of wiped it, and then did a little bit more white over the top. And then I came back with my brayer and brayered it out to kind of get a real kind of inconsistent textural look. And as I was doing that, the paper came up and I loved it. It felt raw, it felt exposed, it felt grungy, it felt like old plaster. It just made my heart happy. So I went with it because I had a whole dialogue happening in my head about how the rawness of life sometimes makes us, yeah. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So I actually peeled back a few areas. Then once that was done, and I actually went back over it with a little bit of matte medium to make sure that the edges, because the edges were sticking up and were still peeling off and it needed to be sealed. And so I put some matte medium over it and then dried that and made sure it was really dry. Then I came back and did some stenciling with my European Lines stencil, wherever that is. Here it is, European Lines. I used my gesso and created some texture here and then kind of stamped with it as well. And I probably will do some more stamping with it. And that was just with gesso. Then once that was fully dry, I came back and I put a wash of raw umber over the top to just give me some goodness here. And I love it. So my thoughts on this is, now I'm going to kind of build up my focal point in this area. This is always my go-to side. I don't know why this side feels awkward to me. It's always over here. It's just how I am. We all have our preferences. I'm going to be using the window stencil. And I think most likely at this point, I have some tissue paper out here. I'm going to stencil all of my things onto tissue paper because I'm a little unsure, and that way I can audition some things and see if that's the way that I want to go. And most likely I will use my roller. And I get questions about this all the time. This is just from like Lowe's, Home Depot, you know, your home improvement store. It has a lid. It has a roller. I keep, this is black gesso or matte black paint, either one. Right now it's matte gesso. And I keep this like this all the time. And then I put it in a bag, and you can see I have other ones that I keep the same way. It is just the best way, fastest way to stencil when you're just using a single color and, you know, wanting to get a pattern or something like that. So I'm going to do that on tissue paper. And these stencils that I'll be using, this is the Rustic font, the Window 2, Paris Flourish, and European lines. Those will all be on sale this week. And then I'm going to be using some of those patterns on tissue paper in the background on top of paper. So I have some vintage papers out here that I have left over. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one or not. It's a little busy, but it's okay. I've got a little bit of vintage wallpaper. I'm not sure if that's going to make it in or not either, because now that I've got this kind of really grungy, I don't know. We'll see. You never know. But the great thing about collage paper is I can audition everything. I've got a lot of neutrals. My window is going to be my focal point. And that part of this piece, that window, is kind of like a window to my soul. That's kind of what it's representing. And the papers don't necessarily have any significant meaning except for the postcards, because that's a message to myself. And but I'm just looking for design. And then the Rustic font stencil, I think I'm going to use it, but I'm not sure because I have words in mind and I don't know how that's going to look. But these are all, you can see, these are all bits and pieces that these were just on my desk. But I want it to be really kind of vintagey looking, especially now with the background. So I may change up my vintage wallpaper to a different one. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we just need that little bit of pop of something. But then my stenciled images, my stenciled patterns, I should say, the European lines and the flourish are going to go on top of those papers as accents to draw the eye into the focal point, which is really the window. And then, you know, you never know what else might end up in there. I do have some butterflies out here. I do have, a bird would be great sitting on that window. I might think about that. So, that is where I am, and that is all I know at this point. Okay, so, today, as I was beginning to put all of this together, I'm working ahead to get ahead so that I can take some time and be with my family. And so it's been just regular Christmas hustle is always kind of crazy. And then trying to work ahead and, get membership stuff done and library stuff done and all that. It's just, everybody's got their stuff. And I was feeling just a little panicked. And so I wrote down in my journal, in my journaling yesterday, I wrote, take a deep breath. And I think that's going to be the title for this piece. Take a deep breath. Just when I say that, it just makes me want to put a pause on your thoughts right now. That's really hard to do. Really hard to do. Or push pause on your thoughts right now. Go outside This is what I'm writing to myself, and I did. Go outside, take a walk, listen to music, create art, something that's going to get me out of my head in this like crazy hustle and bustle kind of like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. I know that for me, I know that it can't be a long time because I really honestly have things to do just like everybody else. But even 5 minutes, just a step outside. And it's cold and it's rainy and it's yucky, but just that alone. And then, we have a little cul-de-sac that we live on. Just a quick walk around that cul-de-sac. It was 5 minutes. I came back like the cold air on my face. I just felt refreshed. And then I just continued to write, like, before I actually went outside, create, just be for a second. Put down the phone, stop the typing, stop the agenda for just a few minutes. It doesn't mean that you're not dealing with all of the things that you need to deal with, or that you don't care. It just means that you need to find a little breathing room. You need to find a little peace in this season. And I was like, I do. And so that was, as soon as I wrote Take a Deep Breath, I thought that's going to be the title of this piece. And the window is kind of that like stepping outside, looking outside of where I am right now, what I have to do. I'm looking in a different direction just for a second. And maybe you can't go outside. Maybe you do a dance party in your living room. Maybe you stop and read 5 minutes from your favorite book or your favorite magazine or whatever it is that will calm you for just a second. And that's good practice, not just for the holiday season, but for every single day. I know it is for me, because I deal with all the agendas all the time. And so I want you to take care of you. And when I was doing this, what I've done so far, and that paper peeled up, and the rawness of the underneath showed through, I thought about how sometimes we just need to be real and raw with ourselves and say, I need a break for just a second. I need to take a breather. And to tell others the same. I need 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever your time frame is, 20 minutes, to just not do a thing. And sometimes that little bit will help our raw and tender parts and our overthinking mind and our burdened heart and all of those things. Maybe just those few minutes will give us a chance to carry on and not feel so And so I know that is my journey right now today. I know so many of you, I know your stories, and I know that's what you're dealing with too. And so I thought it would be appropriate for me to create from that space and share that with you. My loves, I hope that the rest of this week is filled with lots of deep breaths and lots of calm and peace. I think about it, like all the things we have to do. We're traveling to be with family, and how hard Thanksgiving was for us. It seems impossible, right? But it's not if we choose to take a few minutes and be by ourselves or be with the people that calm your soul, whatever it is, whatever the thing is that helps you do the calm, do it. And so I hope this week is a little calmer for you, however that looks. All right, my loves, have a wonderful Sunday. May it be restful and peaceful, and may you always, always know